We're talking Dunmore Bucks baseball here on the Mendola show at Arcaro and Genell. Sid Hallahan is with us from the Dunmore Bucks. And Coach, let's talk about your excitement for this year's group.
Absolutely, John. We got a hopeful outlook on this season. We have a diverse group of a couple seniors, a couple juniors, mostly made up of sophomores, and we got one freshman. Got to replace about five spots, so that's what we're working on right now. Main thing is pitching. I always look at pitching and defense, but we have four guys that I think that can throw the ball, and all four bring something unique to the game.
And the way things are looking early on, as we may be jammed up a little bit, you're going to need that pitching because you're maybe going back to back to back. Talk a little bit about the way the league is structured and what you guys expect.
Sure. Our league is brutal this year. I mean, there's not a game on. You look at the schedule. There's not a game where you could afford to have an off day. Lakeland obviously has everybody back. With Old Forge making a run deep into the state last year, losing to Newman Goretti, they got a lot of guys back, and other teams like Mid Valley, Holy Cross, Carbondale, Riverside. There is just no let up in this schedule this year. So that's why it's important that we learn how to win as a young group quick, or we're going to get left behind.
Some of the teams in the Valley may have a slight advantage of getting out maybe a few days, maybe a week ahead of time than some of the teams up in the mountains. Talk a little bit about how, if you could, use that to your advantage, what you try to do.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to have the football turf, so we're able to get out. Like the last couple of days we've been out there, and that works because you can let the guys stretch their arms, get a lot of live reps, ground balls, fly balls. But as you know, stuck inside in that cage, you can't get a lot of live looks at the bat. So we just gotta. I mean, again, we try to preach in our program, have fun, work hard, and that's what our kids have adopted. They work, and there's been no issues, and they know they're stuck in there, and they know what they have to do to prepare for the year.
How about number-wise, where you guys at?
We're at 15 guys. Like I said, we have about 7 seniors, 2 juniors, 5 sophomores, and a freshman. And that's where we are now. Our JV program is down a little bit with the numbers, but hopefully we have a bigger group of 8th graders coming in next year. We're very good. We're going to be graduating 7 guys this year, so.
How about the plate? What are some things you're looking forward to? You have any long ball hitters or guys you just hope to get on base and move guys along?
Sure. Rich Grippy and Steve Borges are going to be expected to get us going at the 1 and 2 spot, and then we have guys like Danny Walsh and Joe Toludo, Mike Hanna, to kind of provide some of that power to move these guys around. Because Rich and Steve, they got a lot of speed. We're going to expect to run those guys out of the gates early, and hopefully these guys can clean them off the bases. And other guys are going to have to fill in the role spots, and we have to figure that out once we get some live action.
Coach, I know you're excited about this season, and hope you have a great year at Dunmore, and appreciate your time today.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Rich Grippy joining us from the Dunmore Bucks baseball team here on the Mendola show. And Rich, let's talk about what your role is this year.
I'm expected to do a lot, especially as a senior. I've been with this program for a while now, and I'm looking forward to performing. I've played second base the last 3 years, but this year I'll be moving to short, so taking on a little bit of a bigger role. Definitely excited for the season. Take
us around the infield, the guys you think that are working towards those starting spots, and maybe still some competition there.
Yeah, we have an outstanding group of guys, especially an outstanding group of young guys. Frankie Ruggiero, who's a freshman, he's shown an incredible work ethic this year, and we expect big things from him, as well as Daniel Walsh, who started for us last year as a freshman, and he'll be back with us. So we're really set up in the infield. We got a great group of guys, a lot of guys that work hard, and we're excited.
As far as the bats this year, talk about what Coach expects of you and then what you see in that lineup as well.
A lot of great hitters. Steve Borgia, he's one of the most athletic kids I've ever seen. He's got some pop in his bat, and he's only a sophomore. Of course, we know what he does on the football field, and he's just a tremendous athlete. As well as we have other seniors in our lineup like Joe Toludo, Frank Damiano. They're kind of like our heavy hitters. So, we're expected to perform this year as seniors, and I think we'll be ready.
For you, as far as the plate, what do you expect?
Definitely. I'm expected to lead off again. I like to get on base as much as I can and see a lot of pitches. And, I'll be expected to perform well in that leadoff role again.
Coach expects the pitching to be deep, but with just 15 guys on that varsity roster, you may face a lot of games back to back to back. Talk about some additional arms other than those 4 if you need to get into a bullpen.
Yeah, well, we have some young guys coming up. Michael Hanna, who he was hurt last year, but he's back this year and he's ready to go. And he's only a sophomore too. Like I said before, we're young and we got lots of talent. And we have Mike Aronica coming back, who's a junior this year, and he gave us great innings last year, so we're in good shape.
Well, let's talk about some personal things for you. You're a math guy. You're doing great in school with a 3.9 grade point average. Did you hone in on a major yet at that next level?
I'm not really sure about a major yet. Thinking about engineering, something to do with math maybe. My favorite class is definitely math. AP Calculus with Mr. Mills. He gets really fired up in class, and it's outstanding. Great class.
And a great guy, as you mentioned.
Of course.
Let's talk about some of those colleges in the mix for you.
I'm thinking about Penn State and maybe Temple. I'm still waiting to hear back on a few other places, but
you've got some good options.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your sister, Lauren, what she's up to.
She is a sophomore at Dunmore currently. She's involved in cheerleading, and she's involved in the play by the Crimson Company, which is actually going on right now, The Little Mermaid. It's an outstanding show. And
some role models in your life for you.
Of course, my parents. I mean, they've had the biggest impact on me for sure. And my dad really introduced me to the game of baseball, and that's why I love the game so much.
Rich Grippy, we wish you the very best this season. Of course, sounds like you have a really bright future. Go get 'em.
Thanks a lot. Go Bucks.
Stephen Borgia joining us. He's a sophomore for the Dunmore Bucks. And Stephen, let's talk first about what football and basketball season were like for you.
Well, this year's football season was one to remember. We had a 14-win season, and we overcame a lot of challenges presented to us throughout the whole season. In our basketball season, we had a very successful season, a lot of wins, and a lot of good things to come out with.
Now, baseball season. Let's talk about all the positives and what you expect for hitting the diamond this year.
Well, we have a lot of good things coming back to us. Rich Grippy and Joe Toludo, Frank Damiano, a lot of good bats, and Grip's a great middle infielder. We have a lot of good young kids coming freshmen like Frankie Ruggiero and Arcaro is coming up this year, and we have a lot of potential.
You got a nice family, a couple of sisters, so tell us about both of them.
My sisters, they're good athletes. Maria played basketball, volleyball. Allie played basketball, volleyball as well. They both excelled in their sport.
You're a math guy, 3.9 grade point average, you're like 7th in your class. Talk about being a good student and how important that is, especially at Dunmore. It's a small community, and you know academics come first when you go to Dunmore.
Right, we'll talk about paying attention in class, and everything will come to you. And managing your time outside of school, between your extracurriculars and your sports, and what do you want to do otherwise?
You'd love to go to Penn State University down the road, huh?
Sure would.
And as far as some role models in your life, tell us about them.
My uncle, he's a coach, and I look up to him. I like looking up to him because he's a coach for the NFL Cincinnati Bengals, and it's a good job. It takes hard work to get there.
Talk how often you get to have conversations with him, because that kind of job, you're working an awful lot. If you get in, he comes in during the time he comes into Northeastern from Pennsylvania, I'm sure you try to soak it up the best you could, right?
Right. Well, yeah, we go on vacation every year with him. Once a year, we get to talk there, and usually I go to my grandmother's. We FaceTime a lot on holidays and all that good stuff. So I talk to him more than you would think.
That's good. And as far as a rivalry, tell us about a team you enjoy playing at Dunmore.
Well, Holy Cross is our #1 rivalry. It's a fun game. It's always battled down to the last inning, and a lot of competition. And no matter what team is better, it's always a battle to the end.
Well, Stephen, we appreciate what you told us today, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Talking with Joe Toludo from the Dunmore Bucks baseball team here in the John Mendola Show. And Joe, it's your senior season, so what are you excited about?
I'm just getting out there and start playing. I mean, we've been working real hard. I've been working real hard just for this upcoming season, because we got to prove that we're the better team.
Football season this year was pretty darn successful. Talk about your friendships from there and what that was like playing for Coach Henz's.
I mean, I've been playing with all those guys for a long time. I mean, it was a good run. I mean, tough loss, but it happens.
Let's talk about the outfield this year. Take us around the horn in the outfield, and who's vying for the starting spots.
Well, we have myself in right, Stevie Borgia in center, and then there's a battle between Frank Damiano and Arcaro for left field. So I don't know who's going to win it. It's going to be a tough battle.
And as far as what you like about your outfield is you guys have good communication, good speed, good range. Take us through what you think those outfielders could do.
We have good chemistry. I mean, me and Stevie last year, we really got along. We lost Nick Lawler last year, so, I mean, going into right, we're looking pretty good.
You get involved with a couple clubs and organizations at school. Tell us what you're involved with.
I'm involved with Spanish, TACT, all those clubs.
Team dinners are pretty fun then?
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
And you got a big family, so take us through a couple sisters and a brother.
Well, my one sister's a freshman. She plays basketball. I have a younger brother. He's a basketball player and a football player. And then I have a younger sister. She's a softball and basketball player.
And you enjoy economics in school?
Yes.
Who's your teacher?
Coach D.
Oh, nice.
Coach DeSando.
Tell us what you like about that.
I don't know. I'm going to college for supply chain management and logistics, so I mean, it's economics is sort of teaching me, get me a little head start going into college. And
you got a couple choices here. Tell us about where you're choosing between.
Penn State and East Stroudsburg.
Two fine institutions. How about the role models in your life?
That's my father. He taught me a lot through baseball. I can also say my grandfather too. He taught me a lot. Just really looking forward to get this year going.
Well, Joe, we wish you the best on the field, of course, at your future endeavors in your major, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Daniel Walsh joining us from the Dunmore Bucks baseball team here in the John Mendola Show. It's your sophomore year, Daniel, and let's talk about your excitement. What position we're going to see you play this year?
I'm expecting to play third base, and hopefully I played it last year, so I'm comfortable there and hoping to have a good year.
A few arms this year. Talk about who those guys are hitting the mound.
I'll be on the mound, and my sophomore buddy, Michael Hanna, Michael Aronica, Cole Blasco, guys who have pitched in the past, so it should be good.
As far as getting out on the turf, what's that like? Some schools haven't gotten out of the gym yet. So what's the experience like for you guys at least to get outside a little bit?
It's cold, so we're watching, but it's at least better. You can feel ground balls. It's not off the ground, and you could fly balls actually in the air.
Basketball, a sport you play as well. What do you enjoy about that?
I love having the team effort, and you can't do everything yourself, so you gotta find a guy, an assist. Nothing better than a nice assist.
Well, you got a huge family, so take us through that whole family of yours.
Well, I got my oldest brother who's out of college now. He's getting his job. He's an engineer. My other brother's in college. He's an engineer. My other brother, he's in college. He's also an engineer.
Give us some names with these guys. Who's who?
Jerry's the oldest.
Okay.
Timmy's in the second oldest. Connor's one older than me. Then there's me. Then there's Kevin, who's going to join me at Dunmore next year, so we'll be playing with him. And then Taryn is the youngest, and everyone's always like, oh, she's the princess. She must get whatever she wants in the family.
Good for her. Math and science kind of guy?
Yeah, runs in my family.
Doing real well in the classroom. Talk about the tradition of being a math and science guy, and of course, what you hope to do in your future endeavors.
Well, it started with my brother, and he's big on math, and then it rolls down. And it's a joke in my family, like, if you're not doing math, I don't know what you're doing in this house, math and science. And then translates into the classroom, and my parents expect it out of us. And I want to play college and play baseball in college, but if that doesn't work out, then I'll probably follow in my brother's footsteps and be an engineer.
Let's talk about some of those role models in your life and why they have influenced you or what they've done to influence you.
Well, my grandfather, he passed away now, but while he was here, he taught me as many life lessons as you can learn. Told us that come to every game you can, even to your little brother. You might be tired, but hey, you never know what life has, so you can always get to one more game. And then my older brother, Timmy, he pushes me in baseball all the time. He'll always text me, get to the cage, do this, do that. And he's always on me because he sees potential in me and he wants me to succeed.
And I'm sure your little sister looks up to you and all the brothers. What kind of advice do you give her? Does she come out and support you at the games as well?
She does. She comes to every game, and she might not pay attention sometimes. She's looking with her friends, but she definitely comes home, and she'll always ask me to go outside and play basketball with her, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll teach you or hit off the tee. So,
well, sounds like you're doing some great big brother stuff, and appreciate you sharing your personal story there about your grandfather and the rest of your family. Daniel, have a great season.
Thank you. Go Bucks.